Hi 10th graders, this is Ms. Stapp with the second video that goes along with A1, and this is over these exemplars. So what I'm going to do is look at the exemplars and kind of pick them apart and show you where I have found some of these things in the rubric. I would encourage you to read the exemplar first, maybe stop this video and go ahead and read the exemplar. Again, you will find this under Content Library, Podcast, and A1. Okay, so we've talked about those command terms, what they mean, and what we are looking for. Let's start with the goal. I think that's the easiest way. If you have read this exemplar 1, you will notice, let me get to my drawing tool right here. You will notice that they mention the goal about right here. It decided to do what? Investigate the challenges that aerospace engineers face when they build rockets, and this would be done through the creation of my own model rocket. So he's going to do an investigation, he's going to do some research, and create his own model rocket. Right? That's pretty clear to me. I understand what he's going to research, and I understand what he's or she is going to do. Now, I understand that that is down below, and I actually like how this is organized. It starts out right here. This first paragraph is about personal interest. And I think that is a great way to set up this first strand, A1, with that personal interest leading into the goal, and then explain what the goal means, and followed by the global context. All right. Now, is this goal investigate the challenges that aerospace engineers face when they build rockets, and this will be done through the creation of my own model rocket? Is this challenging? I'm not sure, and I don't think that this student really justifies how this is challenging for him or her, all right? I knew I would encounter a wide variety of difficulties in my rocket, so it would help me to imagine how more difficult it is to construct rockets that have escaped the atmosphere and surviving unforgiving environment of space. I still don't think that explains why this student feels it's challenging. Again, it's missing that this is, by baseline, what I know and what I need to know. It is also missing anything else. You could say, please see Appendix A for the rubric I made that shows that this is challenging, where I talk about what would be a basic goal and what would be a highly challenging goal, and what kind of skills I need to acquire in order to succeed with this rocket. So there are several ways you can do this. Feel free to let me know if you have questions about this and how you could show that your goal is challenging. Now, the next paragraph here I wanted to go over is the construction of the model rocket was not the only product I pondered. What is this student doing? They're talking about changes that occurred, and it doesn't say this specifically in the rubric, but IB wants to know about any changes as you went along. It does talk about this later in some of the criteria. However, if there was a change, and many of you had this change very early, like when you're creating the goal, then this is a great place to talk about it right here. And you could certainly add a little paragraph where you talk about those other things you considered or why you changed your goal from this to this and so forth. So definitely I see, and this would be the place you would want to do it kind of at the end after you described your goal, not before. Clearly get your goal in there and tell where it came from or how you arrived at this goal, and you considered several other things, right? Then we move down to global context. So this global context, another decision I had to make regarding my topic was which global context I needed to revolve my project around. That's a decent way to introduce the global context. Out of the options, the one most suitable was scientific and technical innovation. And then he does that connection between what it is to be scientific and technical innovation and what his project is. So he is actually showing that connection, demonstrating it to you. Now, we asked you at our school to go a little further and to define the exploration a little bit. So make sure you're looking at that exploration. It's probably in your global context where you can see what those little explorations are. Name that exploration. And I would explain what that exploration means to you in particular and how it connects to your project. All right? One of my students asked me, I thought this was great. I considered several explorations, and they looked different depending on what that global context was. Should I talk about that? Why, yeah, that's a change that came up for you, and you can definitely talk about this at this point. So remember, changes that occur as you go along, it is perfect to slip them in there in the strand where they happen. So I don't know how much I talked about the personal interest at the top, so let's go back to that. And you might write like this. You might get your global context, you might get your goal down first, make it nice and clear, work on your global context, and then go back and include your personal interest. I really like that the personal interest in this case is before the goal, and maybe you want to write like this because you probably had an interest before you created this goal. And we're hoping that your interest kind of ignited this goal. Now, you do have some evidence of your passion and your personal interest, and this is that passion video that you made way back, and you might use that as evidence here and refer to it. You might also look at that table to see if there's anything useful that you put in that passion table that you might write about here. Okay? This one says, inspiration for my topic came from years of fascination. Since I was young, I had a curiosity. Great. That's a really nice way to introduce this whole report, talking about your interest and where it came from. This can be subject specific if you want, and it can be outside of school, definitely. But this is very personal. And you might love stuff that we do at school, but it doesn't have to come from a school experience. But do describe to us that passion or that personal interest that kind of ignited, like I said, this goal idea for you. All right. Now, there is another exemplar that you may want to look at here. I'm not going to pick it apart like I did that last one, but now it's your turn to go ahead and write A1. It says here, see your personal project tab under your name for your passion video for the goal and global context information you might need to write this. It also may be evidence you want to refer to in your report and show in your appendix. Now, let's move on over to a personal tab. I'm going to look at Anshi's, and it says personal project. Great. And down here at the bottom is report A1. When you go to report A1 and open it, you're going to see some of the things that were in the lesson plan, okay? But not everything. I didn't want to overwhelm you there. You can definitely use Notebook to work on this personal project portion, the strand A1. However, you can use something else, okay? Whatever you use, you have to be able to upload an image to ManageBack. When we meet next class period, you will be copying your text. You'll be copying the text and going to your collaborative group and pasting it. Let's look at a group, for instance. Let's look at group 3. Okay. You will be pasting it into a place I had made for you in your collaborative group for you to put A1. I thought I put it up there already. I haven't. It'll be there for the next class. You're going to paste it there. There will also be some tables for your peers to use in order to pick apart, kind of like I just did, and look for those pieces that you need to have included from the rubric. So that's what we'll be doing next time. This time, make sure you get that uploaded to ManageBack. Again, this is A1. It's the whole strand. You want to finish it, upload it to ManageBack, and be ready next time to share with your peers. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.